And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
Thank you very much, John Bon Jovial, the legendary John Bon Jovial, folks. And thank you, audience, for joining us once again for another exciting hour of new indie music and talk with the artists who make it happen. We're so glad to have you with us. We want to salute our listeners in Rochester, New York, and the radio station that carries the David Bowers Awards, WRFZ, FM 106.3, Rochester Free Radio, and, of course, Mary Perry, accredited disability representative in Rochester, who underwrites the David Bowers Awards on Rochester Free Radio. Thank you so much. We love you all. We love all our listeners all around the world. We've got another great show for you this week. Two lovely ladies join us as the ladies take over the David Bowers Awards this week, and we're going to be hearing about some exciting things in their lives as well as their new music right here in just a few minutes. Angel Sessions will be joining us in a bit, but first up, we've got Arizona's own Jennie J, and a song from last year before we preview her new songs that she's just released. This is called All Right.
I remember the hard times like yesterday. I remember the way it felt when you went away. Daddy, where did you go? Mama's not okay, we need you. Mama's always crying, she's drinking every day. She never knew how to love, she just gave it away. Daddy, where did you go? Mama's not okay, we need you. But I'm alright, and I'm okay. I've learned to love myself. And I'm alright, and I'm okay. I've realized I don't need you anyway. The way it is, but I'm alright, and I'm okay, 'cause I learned to love myself. And I'm alright, and I'm okay, 'cause I learned to love myself. And I've realized itself. I lay out all my reasons why I should love myself. Love should never hurt you, that's what you tell yourself. And I'm alright, and I'm okay. I've learned to love myself, and I'm alright, and I'm okay. 'Cause I learned to love myself, and I'm alright, and I'm okay. I've learned to love myself, 'cause I've realized I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you anyway.
Hi, this is Joe Bonzo with the Oak Ridge Boys. You're listening to my good friend, the David Bowers. On Blog
Well, thank
Talk
you very
Radio.
much. Oh, well, there I go, stepping on the guests again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Joe Bonsall of our friends, the Oak Ridge Boys. And we're going to have to look into getting them back here on the show here, not too far distant future. But for today, we've got a couple of lovely ladies. You just heard from Jennie J, who will be joining us hopefully in just a couple of minutes. And we want to say hello and thanks to all our good friends who listen and support the David Bowers Awards, including you, wherever you are, of course. And then also, we want to salute, we want to say hello to the band that provides our theme music every week, Titty Bingo. We thank them for that, and we're looking forward to having them come back on the show shortly as well. And also, we want to thank Mary K. Perry of Rochester, New York, who is who's the sponsor who underwrites the David Bowers Awards on Rochester Free Radio, WRFZ FM 106.3 in Rochester, New York. Thank you very much, Mary Perry. And, of course, there's always the legendary John Bon Jovial. How goes it in Bon Jovial land?
It goes Bon Jovially well, I might add. It's everything is, life goes on here in the swamp, as you like to call it, Camp Swampy, here in Southwest Florida. We are getting ready to approach our summer months as the temperatures start to rise, the tourists start to flee, and the mosquitoes start to propagate in a big-time way.
I remember those skeeters. They, what was it the Kingston Trio sang about the Everglades? Remember that great song they did about the Everglades? And if the skeeters don't get you, then the gators will.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, and both of them will. And we're getting into alligator mating season right now, so there are many areas of Everglades National Park, which is not too far from here, where people like to go, popular hiking trails and such, and now the National Park Service is, basically they're dumbing down their language to try to get people's attention, whereas they used to say that it's alligator mating season, so please be careful. And now they're basically saying, if you want to get eaten, go mess with alligators.
That sounds like a good topic for the David Bowers Awards, which is kind of coincidental because it's time for this week's first the David Bowers Award right now. Oh, thank you very much there. And we're going to turn the floor over to the legendary John Bon Jovial for this week's The David Bowers Award.
Well, this week's The David Bowers Award is kind of a somber occasion. The music was a little weird for that, but hey, we'll go with it because, after all, this is a very weird program that you have chosen to listen to. But it involves the rap artist known as Nipsey Hussle, who has been very popular on the West Coast rap scene. He rapped his Black American dream into existence, is what the article about him likes to say. But he accepted a smaller role in the hip-hop hierarchy in exchange for autonomy, allowing him to basically stay connected to his grassroots. He didn't give in to what the record producers wanted him to do. He stayed true to himself, and he turned stories of gangbanging into a personal fortune, which he subsequently invested into his own local businesses, which also invested into the communities around him. And he used his fortune and his money for good. He has a rather tumultuous personal history, and he used that to sell the African-American kids in his neighborhood on the virtues of nonviolence, on the virtues of education, the virtues of Reconstruction. And the reason why we're talking about Nipsey Hussle is that, unfortunately, he was shot to death out in front of his business the other day. As of this recording, it was about 3 or 4 days ago. So we want to extend our deepest condolences and sympathies, not only to the hip-hop community, but more importantly, to Nipsey's family. We're thinking about you here at the David Bowers Awards, and we just want to let you know that, while maybe hip-hop isn't our personal favorite are people like this guy who will use his talent to turn a good turn in his community, which is what this guy did. And sadly, his life was cut terribly short. David?
Very well said, John. Thank you very much. And at the top of the awards thing, I mentioned an old friend of ours, Bob Shane, one of the co-founding partners of the original Kingston Trio. I thought I'd also mention that in speaking with him and his wife recently, I found out that Bob is going to be releasing a new solo album. As you may remember, he released a solo album here about, I don't know, it must have been at least 6 years ago. And no, actually, it was a little longer than that. It's been a long wait. And I'm told that he's going to be releasing a new album. And, of course, we're going to try to get our hands on a copy and share it with everyone, because that's what we do here. Looking forward very much to hearing Bob Shane's new music. And speaking of new music, that slides us right into our first guest, Jennie J, who will be joining us very shortly, right after we listen to this, one of her new tracks. It's called Country Soul.
Waking up, brush my hair, grab my keys in my hand, hit the road, sun is out, and tonight we gon' show us girls, do it right, as we say, a little country soul. Boys like country, boys like country girls, 'cause we've got country soul. Us girls like country boys, 'cause we've got country soul. In my truck, by the lake, got a toes in the sand, tailgates, bonfire.